Welcome aboard. I am your railroad conductor for American Literature 2. English 247 at Johnson County Community College. Now, why do I say your railroad conductor? Well, think about it. In the years after the American Civil War, the railroads were expanding, industry was erupting, immigration was pouring in, the nation was physically expanding in population and geography, and in diversity, and in confidence. Confidence. You know, this week I'm going to ask you to read some Walt Whitman, and there is probably not a more confident writer of poetry in any language, perhaps. And so, I mean, who isn't confident who titles one of their most important works Song of Myself? Longfellow, last semester, we if you were with me in American Lit 1, we read Longfellow. Longfellow wrote the Song of Hiawatha. Whitman writes Song of Myself. I'm important. And how does it begin? I celebrate who? Myself. I celebrate myself and sing myself, and what I assume you shall assume. For every atom belonging to me as good belongs to you. I loaf and invite my soul, and I lean and I loaf at my ease, observing a spear of summer grass. Wow. Well, we're going to hopefully not do too much loafing, but we are going to observe some of that summer grass, those interesting things that Whitman encountered in the literature before his time and after his time. And I hope that this is something that you find intriguing, even if it isn't quite make you as confident as Whitman was. Now, hopefully you've got your books already. We have the very exercise-oriented Volume C of the Norton Anthology of American Literature, with the guy rowing on the front. Let's see, painting by Thomas Eakins. We have Volume D, cleverly titled, with the Edward Hopper painting on the cover. It's called Chop Suey, two women sitting in a Chinese restaurant. And then you'll never guess what the last title is, right? Volume E, with the painting by David Hockney, I think it is. Yeah, who cares? Not me, but that's okay. What are we doing in this semester, in this course? Well, we're looking at this much more complicated thing, which is American literature after the Civil War. The nation becomes more complicated, and the subject matter we have is increasingly complicated. In American Literature 1, it's pretty obvious who you're going to choose, who you're going to read, who you're going to leave out, and who you're going to include. But in this semester, we've got some really, really wonderful writers that I just had to leave out because I couldn't include everyone. People like Flannery O'Connor, I left her out. I love Flannery O'Connor, but I left her out because there just wasn't time for Flannery O'Connor. There wasn't time for Sylvia Plath. There wasn't time for Rita Dove. There wasn't time for Wendell Berry. There wasn't time for John Steinbeck. There wasn't time for W.D. Howells. There wasn't time, oh my goodness, for L. Frank Baum. You know Frank Baum? It's the Wizard of Oz guy. I wouldn't have included him, but there's not time for a lot of really, really worthy writers because there's just a wealth of material. And one thing to keep your mind on, at the end of the semester, I'm going to be asking you to do a sort of a virtual presentation in which you share with us something, some writer, some genre of writing, some work that's especially great, or some body that you can draw a line around somehow. And I'm going to ask you to tell us, introduce it to us, share it with us, why you think this is worthy stuff, why this is the stuff that ought to be included in literature to be taken seriously, as opposed to stuff that we just kind of read and chew up and spit out. I'll give you an example. Zane Grey, the famous Western writer, was a very prolific writer. He churned out a lot of work, but most of it wasn't very good. It was stuff that you read, you enjoyed, but then you went on to the next thing. It was kind of like riding a roller coaster. If you didn't get to ride the next roller coaster, you weren't going to be all that thrilled. On the other hand, in my opinion, Larry McMurtry writes a Western in Lonesome Dove, and it's brilliant. So, you're going to share with us, hopefully, something that is sort of unsung, but we get to look at and go, oh wow, that belongs in the Lonesome Dove category, not in the Zane Grey category. And you might even tell us why Zane Grey should be taken seriously, as opposed to things that are taken seriously. You might, oh my goodness, I hope you don't, tell us that Stephenie Meyer's and the Twilight Saga really deserves to be in the canon of serious literature. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. I don't know. I hope you find something you absolutely love this semester. You'll probably encounter some things you really don't like at all. That's okay. That's the nature of this sort of a course. Read on, read well, enjoy it, and I'll talk to you next week.